We have to stop meeting like this, people. I believe it's about 9:15 on Thursday. All right. Dave Ramsey, how do I get my girlfriend to pay off her debt? I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We're going to go ahead, take this right on down, and let's get into it. So glad you're here.
Starting off this hour is David in
Hi,
Boise,
David.
Idaho. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, fellas. How y'all doing?
Better than we deserve, sir. How can we help?
So my question comes, I'm looking for some advice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in this 8-year beautiful relationship with the woman of my dreams, and she's very much the free spirit, and I'm very much the nerd. And I'm trying to reel all of that in.
Boom. Right there. Now, I know this is coming from a 56-year-old. Okay, they sound kind of young. The minute you say it's the woman of my dreams or the man of my dreams, but we're always going to take it from the angle of the phone call. So it's the woman of my dreams, but I'm trying to reel her in. Now, I'm going to play fair. All right? And of course, if you want to hear this without my yammering, inside the description box always is the original video, okay? So I'm going to play fair. Just like I have said in prior videos, women, don't sit around trying to change the guys. Don't try to take the guys and mold them into something that you think is better, more responsible, perhaps more fit, perhaps a higher income earner, whatever, increasing their motivation, whatever change it is you would like. And I've always have said, women, don't spend time doing that to men. It's a waste of your time, and it's also not fair to the guy. Well, here we have the same thing, but in reverse. And the rules do not change. This guy is saying, I have found the woman of my dreams, but... And he's calling into the Dave Ramsey show. So without even hearing the rest of it at this point, I can tell you right now, this is not the woman of your dreams. Because the woman of your dreams, there's no but afterwards. And it's certainly not a big enough but that you need to call into a national radio show to clarify things. Just something to think about.
I've got the bug for getting debt free. I think we accumulated probably about $60,000 in debt. We both, I think we're bringing about $10,000 a month. But
they have a good income, but they seem to be spending it real fast. He says they're bringing in $10,000 a month, but they're $60,000 in debt. Ooh.
She's an in-the-moment person, and I'm trying to... She wants me to do it first, and then she'll jump on board once she sees me start tackling it, and then she said she will join me. But I'm finding that very frustrating in the sense that she'll blow through some paychecks, and then I'm dipping more into my budget than I need to be doing, so...
This guy hopefully is very, very young and naive, because that would justify why he's even trying to pursue her at this point. So from what I gather, he's got this, and I'm quoting here, the woman of my dreams, but she won't do anything unless I do it. If I understand correctly, I think he said something along the lines of like, he wants to save, but he's not going to start saving until she saves, which would also explain perhaps the $60,000 debt they're in. And I know Dave Ramsey, and you know him too. You're praying that this debt is not like on commingled credit cards and commingled property, because debt, unless you're married, should be kept separate. Okay. Now, of course, we're talking about Dave Ramsey's rule. It's different to every couple, every person. Okay. But in general, okay, if you're not married to them, you shouldn't be playing house. This guy, I hope, is very young. Okay. He sounds very young, like he's in his 20s, maybe early 30s, but sounds pretty young. And he's got this carefree girlfriend, and much like women do with men, hey, okay, we got to own some responsibility on this too, ladies, okay? Much like women do with the men, okay? We want to change a guy, shape him and mold him. Oh, he's perfect if he'll just do this, this, and this, or think like this, this, and this, okay? If she is the type that won't do anything unless he does it first, then to me, that's a sign of a woman who's not really strong. If I'm only willing to go after you go, okay, that shows that won't say it's lack of leadership, but does he really want someone who can't make a decision on her own? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Does he really want someone who will only move after someone else does it before her? In other words, she's supposed to be this perfect woman, but she's not willing to take a risk, even if that risk is financially wise, such as in, let's start tackling debt.
I guess my question would be, how do I mean, is that possible? Because I find it's just frustrating and it's causing more fights than anything.
There you go, young man. There you go. You just figured out one of life's big mysteries. Don't hook up with someone and think you're going to change them. Don't do it. Don't do it. It would be like somebody, let's just say hooking up with me and going, man, I really wish Carrie would just be less energetic. I mean, how do I tone down some of that energy that she's got? I mean, could she just chill sometimes? Okay. Now, I don't know if I've never been diagnosed with ADHD. I'm sure I get the jitters and stuff, but I don't believe I'm ADHD, although that could possibly be debated. I mean, good Lord. What is it? We're almost 10 o'clock and here I am doing a YouTube. Okay. But anyways, he's figuring out, hopefully at a young age, before he marries this woman, he's figuring out you cannot shape an adult to be something you want them to be. You got to take them exactly as they are. Somebody is not going to be able to come to me and go, Carrie, do you think you could work out a little less? Do you think maybe you could tone down some of that energy? No, it is what it is.
How old are you?
We're both 38.
38 years old and you're, oh my Lord. This time for juice. I thought it was like 28, 29, maybe 31. Has this guy not been in enough relationships to know you can't change somebody? Just a thought. 38. Okay. He's a good, I mean, without even blinking an eye, he's a good I'm not saying even more than 5 years. He's damn near a decade older than what I thought he was. I thought he was like 28, 29, 30, 31 at best. That put him about 7 years older. I was not thinking this is a guy 2 years to 40. Young man, if you see this, all right, this is not the woman of your dreams.
Okay. All right. Well, let me first, let's reset the stage. There's not a we. You're not married.
Snaps. One.
Right.
You're having an argument with your roommate about how your roommate handles money. And that is a relational problem, but it's also a financial problem because it's very, very difficult to pretend like you're married financially when you're not, because the whole dynamic has shifted because there's all the legalities involved. There's no incentives involved. You're still.
And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Ramsey, but let me have the floor here for just a second. There's something else also. If he's not careful, I guarantee you, this is the type of woman that would dump him with the bills when she wants to end the relationship. I guarantee it to you, this is going to be the type of woman. I see it in the stars. Okay. This is not the type of woman who's going to say, hey, you know what? The relationship's coming to an end. You're going to pay, your half. I'll pay my half. In other words, we'll leave amicably. Okay. No, this is the type of woman, I can see it clear as a bell. She would dump him and leave him with the bills.
Still just shacking up and you're 38 years old. And so you're really going to struggle trying to pull this together and act like it's marriage when it's not. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell you from 30 years of coaching people, that's the truth. And I'm not trying to pick on you or tell you you're doing something wrong. I'm just telling you it's a very difficult dynamic to pull off. So what I would do is 8 years, you're asking us what we would do.
I was scrolling the screens because I wanted to tell how long ago this was. This was a year ago.
What we would do. Here's what we tell you to do. If you're my son, I've got a daughter your age. If you were my son, I would say here's the thing to do. 8 years, long enough time to paint or get off the ladder. You need to decide whether this is real, whether it's going to go forward or not. We're not just shacking up for sex now.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
This is a real thing, and so we got to make a call here. That's what I would tell my son if he asked me, and he was your age. And so you're going to struggle to prosper relationally until you make that call, and you're going to struggle to prosper financially and with the arithmetic while you're trying to make that call. Because she's legally got a set of responsibilities, you legally have a set of responsibilities, and they legally are not combined. The law, all of the people you do business with, everyone recognizes you only as two individuals instead of one household unit. And yet you use the words we, like your income is somehow combined. It is not.
I hope he breaks down. The caller, what's his name, David, says that they have 60, if I'm correct, it was $60,000 in debt. I'd like to know how that debt is broken down. Like, who's on whose card is all this debt sitting? Something tells me that it's most likely it's both of their debt, or at least, maybe even a little bit more hers, but he's probably sitting on the majority of the money. This girl's no dummy. I'm sorry. My instinct, I'm just giving you my woman instinct. She could be a hell of a manipulator. This is the type of woman that David's describing as his girlfriend. I see this type of woman as being the type that will basically use a guy for what it's worth, and then either move on or leave him. And I guarantee you, she would have no problem. This type of woman would have no problem leaving the guy to pay the bills.
You have zero legal access to each other's income at this stage of the game. So that's what I would tell you to do, number one. Number two, then, is as a part of that process, get some good pre-marriage counseling.
Let's stop here for a minute. Why does it seem, and I've done enough Dave Ramsey videos, and trust me, it takes a lot of concentration to absorb all this stuff, okay? I've done enough Dave Ramsey videos to come to a conclusion, and that is he seems to be a lot more gentle on the women when it comes to them holding debt than he is with the men. So in other words, I think if the tables were kind of reversed, it just seems in a lot of the reactions, it's kind of like, okay, this woman, and those of you who have followed regularly, okay, we've done videos where the woman comes with a $200,000 debt, a $250,000, and I think one was even $300,000, pushing $325,000, okay? And Dave is like, go ahead to the young man, marry this woman, even though the guy might be debt free or near debt free or have, a quarter of the debt the chick's got, right? And Dave will be like, marry her. Get some premarital counseling, but God help if it's the guy that's holding all the debt and the woman doesn't have as much of it, then there seems to be a lot more, is it chastising? There seems to be a lot more chastising going on towards the guy. It's just something I've noticed because, see, I'm listening to this call here and I'm thinking, buddy, to the caller, David, I'm thinking, David, you don't need premarital counseling. You need a lesson on how to choose better women, on how to see the red flags that are in front of you. This woman has already produced a whole lot of red flags, and I've never even met the gal. But a woman who clearly, and I should say, this is also David's fault. Remember what I've always have said. We get into financial situations that are negative by our own doing. If David, the caller, were to marry a woman like this, I guarantee it to you, her spending style is not going to decrease in the, she likes to live for today. It's only going to increase because now a woman like that will see someone like him as now he's a guaranteed paycheck. He's a guaranteed income source. David doesn't need premarital counseling. David needs to be taught what to look for in a really good woman. David needs to be taught, what are the signs you can't, along with you can't change somebody. And we know that finances are the number one cause of divorce, or at least up there, like in the top 3, okay, of the causes of divorce. This is a future divorce waiting to happen. Easy peasy to see that.
Start to work on these differences in your identities and in the way you're approaching money.
They're 38 years old. David's saying work on the identities and the way you're approaching money. No. He's in his late 30s. Your money habits, your money lifestyles, the way you see money, okay, very much ingrained. Very much ingrained. Even with my past history and spending addiction, a lot of all of it, pretty much in my 20s, was caused from my mental health issues. But deep down at its core, deep down behind all that mental health crap, behind the bankruptcies, okay, that was a symptom of the mental health crap. Underneath all of that, even through my 20s and my 30s, I really wasn't careless with money. I hope that makes sense. Okay. It's like once you peel away the layers of someone, is it really that they're careless with money, or is there a deeper problem and the money is just simply what's showing the problem? But once you peel that all away, and in my case, once I peeled it all away, once it all went bye-bye and I could get myself mentally healthy and back on track again, wow, at my core, I'm financially very, very responsible. I think in this case, at 38, David is trying to take someone. I don't think this gal of his is, peeling away anything, at least that we are aware of, there hidden mental health issues behind her, yada, yada, which if there are, God help him, that's another whole topic for him to have to deal with, another whole situation. But 38 years old and asking these type of questions shows that there's a certain level of immaturity in him. He doesn't need to go to marital counseling. I know Dave Ramsey recommends that a lot. But there are times when I think the guy or the gal, but in this case we're talking about the guy, there are times when the guy just needs to put on his running shoes and head in the other direction. They are too different financially. He is not going to take a carefree spirit who likes to spend money, okay, get her controlled to the way that he likes it, and then think he's going to have a happy marriage. And that red flag, remember he said, well, whenever we bring it up, we always start fighting. Well, yeah, I'm an exercise enthusiast, and it's interesting because one of my requirements is very, very simple. You met me as an exercise enthusiast. Okay, I'm an exercise enthusiast. Don't think you're going to change or control that exercise enthusiasm into something that you like better. Well, I don't want you to work out 5-6 days a week. I'd like you to work out 3 days a week. You're gone. I work out 5 to 6 days a week. It's just what I do. Okay. At this age, those things don't change. And he's going to try to take a gal and take her view of money and the way she sees it and her emotional attachment to it. And he's going to try to fix her, to try to change her. You either accept it, that this is what she's like, and you're probably going to spend your life dealing with debt, and the $60,000 that they're sitting in is just going to be the tip of the iceberg. Okay. You marry her, and that's going to be your lifestyle. You are not with a woman. Then he says they're 38, or he's 38. So I'm assuming she's sitting close to that range. Okay. He's not with a woman who goes, David, that's the caller. David, I really see your point. And you know what? I think we can go on to this debt-free journey together. In fact, before we get married, let's see if we can cut down this $60,000 debt in half. He's not with that type of woman.
Nothing wrong with one of you being a free spirit and one of you being the nerd. As a matter of fact, that's most couples that have successful marriages. They learn to navigate all of that. But when we as a husband and wife have a vision for the future and we are committing to becoming and staying debt-free so that we can travel the world, buy nice cars, be unbelievably generous, and retire with dignity, change our family tree, then we need to stick to the plan that we both agreed to.
He is not going to be able to take a woman who doesn't have the ability to have the same vision as he does about living a debt-free life, about cutting down their expenses, about sacrificing today so they have something for tomorrow. He needs to find a woman who has that same sort of vision. That's what he needs to find. He shouldn't be looking for a woman who has a different vision, think that she's the woman of my dreams, and then try to change her. That's not going to work. I mean, what Ramsey, what he's saying is awesome. Yes. Find a woman like that. Find a woman that has words as debt freedom, okay, in her vocabulary.
But there's not a we right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to something you said, David. Dave gave you the fatherly advice. I'm going to be your big brother for a moment. You said that her response to this was, well, I want to see you do it, see you live out the baby steps, and then I'll get on board. So my quick question, I got a couple things here. Are you living it out? Are you attempting to do it with your paycheck?
Yes.
And so she's seen you do it. She's seen you do it for how long?
I've been going steady for about 6 months.
Okay, so for 6 months.
Knocking out some debt.
Right, so she's seen you do it for 6 months, and she's still on the sidelines. As your older brother for just this call,
I would dump her.
I have some real concerns here because the one.
Thank you, George. Is this George? That's not Ken. You know, I swear to God, I'm just gonna get all the pictures put up here and just put them all up. Okay, I don't think this is George. Okay, well, whoever this is, no, it's not George. I know that. Here is the thing. She wants him to do it because not only does it buy, she wants her boyfriend to make all the moves first because it buys her, and selfishly, it buys her time to keep being irresponsible. It buys her time to be irresponsible in her behavior. Furthermore, it gives her someone to blame if the debt goal or whatever the goal is that they have doesn't come to fruition, because not only does it buy her more time to say, hey, you do it first. Okay. Hell, David the caller has just bought her 6 months more. Now, if it doesn't work out and they financially fail, she could say, well, you know what? You couldn't even do it yourself and you wanted me to do it. Well, you couldn't even do it. All right. She's looking for someone else to blame for the future failure financially of this relationship. And this is what David doesn't realize. This caller needs a lesson, and look, you're getting manipulated and you don't even know it.
Woman of your dreams could be the woman of your nightmares if she doesn't get on board here. And I appreciate what Dave is saying, but I got to tell you, I would be having a serious conversation before you decide to get married, even before you go into premarital counseling. And I think it comes down to this. I think you got to stop trying to convince her, and I think you got to harness her dreams in this conversation and cast some vision. And it's a simple construct. Hey, here's the problem in the way that you're living with your money. This is what it's going to lead to. This is what it's gotten you to. Here's the solution, this process I've learned over here. And if we do this, it's going to give us financial peace, and then our dreams can be bigger than ever.
To do all of that, though, you still need a woman. You still need a woman that treats money like you treat it. Okay? You can't be with somebody who's throwing money in the lotto machine, okay? Because that's how they like to spend it, and say, well, you keep throwing all your money in the lotto machine. Let me show you my way. We can open up a 401k. We can open up an IRA, okay? You got two totally different money spending ways. Now, maybe if she was a little closer to the track that he was on, which is, it sounds like he's, a little bit more perhaps conservative with his money. He's starting to figure out that, hey, you know what, we need, because he's 38 years old, okay, we need to start making some money plans and stuff. If she were closer to thinking the way he is thinking, then I could see where it could be, hey, you know what, you put your money in an IRA and I put my money in a 401k. We're both saving money, and we can both discuss the way that we want to save it and see if your IRA and my 401k whatnot work. Because you may have different accounts, but you're still on the same page. Here, we've got a gal who's not even on the same page. Okay, she's throwing money into the lottery machine, and she's having fun with that. And you want her to come and talk about, how to save in a 401k account. You see, this is the wrong woman for him. I don't see this as a match at all. And don't even get us started on the $60,000 debt. And who's going to pay that debt when the relationship ends?
And we can do this. Dave, I got to tell you, I want to know if she's going to catch this vision before they even get serious.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. She is so far opposite of where he is. And again, we have to remember, they are 38 years old. They are 2 years to 40. All right? 2 years to 40. We are not talking 25-year-olds that, are still navigating the world of adulthood.
About marriage, because that really concerns me because of the rate of divorce. If she can't get on board with this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In pre-marriage counseling,
Yeah,
or some other way, you've got to get on the same page.
See, I'm not a big fan of counseling. All right. Yeah, I had a psychiatrist and stuff. Okay. But that to me is slightly different than just general. Well, not slightly, it is. It's way different than general counseling. The problem I have with a lot of counseling, and we used to sit in family counseling Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Okay. We sat in family counseling, and the problem I always had with it, next to the counselor always being a friend of my mother, that's ineffective counseling. People, when the counselor is friends with one of your parents, you might as well just call it a social gab session, but I digress. All right. But a lot of the issues that I have with it is, to me, counseling is more about reaffirming who you are than it is about trying to change one person to be like another. One wants them to be. And I think a lot of the negativity I have with counseling, and don't get me wrong, okay? Yeah, I understand not all counselors are bad. Okay, I get it. I can only go from my viewpoint. I can only go from my experience, okay? I'll take a psychiatrist any day. That's just me, all right? And of course, psychiatrists are obviously different, but as far as the world of counseling, to me, counseling should be more about reaffirm who you are, reaffirm your identity, reaffirm what it is that you want in a relationship. Don't go to counseling because I'm hoping I can change you to be more like what I want. I have never thought that works, and my personal history tells me it does not work.
Or this is going to end poorly. Because,
Really
by the
bad.
way, it's going to end poorly anyway
That's right.
if we don't fix this.
There's nothing to fix. You can't fix personality. I've said it before. I can fix little things. Okay, Carrie, could you please not blend a smoothie at 3 o'clock in the morning? It wakes up the household. I can fix that. Okay. Could you please, I don't know, could you make the bed every other day instead of every day? Well, no, that's not negotiable because, well, it's just not. In other words, we have to figure out in counseling, what is it you're trying to change? And some things are non-negotiable. I make the bed every day. I change the pillowcases every single day. I exercise 5 to 6 times a week. These are the things I do. This is just part of my makeup. Can I negotiate certain things? Don't make a smoothie at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'll wake up the household? Sure, I can negotiate that. But that's not dealing with personality. It's not dealing with routines that I have that I'm very, very attached to. The fact that he's 38 years old, 38, and he seems to have I won't say the mentality, but I would almost think if I didn't know his age, like I said, I would have thought he was in his late 20s, maybe, late 20s. He doesn't have a lot of experience. And so that tells me also that's possibly his first, maybe really serious relationship to get married. And I think what's scary is all those red flags are there. You can see it.
It's just going to be an ugly breakup.
That's correct.
And
with $60,000, with $60,000 that somebody's going to have to pay off.
now we're going to be fighting over who gets the mustard because we got confused about where the condiments in the refrigerator came from. I mean, mayonnaise is mine, dadgummit. And so, that's how you fight with your roommate.
Yeah.
You don't end up fighting with your spouse that way.
That's right.
It's a different fight with your spouse. So, yeah, you guys need to be going, okay, where do we want to go financially with our lives, and what is the best route to get there?
All right, I'm going to end it. Here's the thing. They're not designed for each other. Maybe as, live-in, and I'm going to use his words, quote, sex partners, okay? It might work, but do I see it as a marriage? Financially the same page, 38 years old. They have the same vision, mission, wants in life. I don't see it. I hope they didn't get married. All right. We're going to call it a night, folks. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I would like to thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's Betty Bye time. I hope you will consider subscribing. And people, I will see you possibly possibly tomorrow night. Friday's kind of questionable. And Saturday, I'll see you on Saturday, Sunday, most likely, even though it's Christmas Eve. All right? Don't forget, also, when school starts back up, I think in Tampa, school starts back up somewhere around January 8th, okay? Most of my uploads won't be late in the evening. I'll be moving them to about 8:30. And if it's not uploaded by then, there probably won't be an upload that day. All right? I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a great night. Bye.